Bridget Hamre, co-founder and CEO of Teachstone, and associate research professor at the University of Virginia. At Teachstone, our work sits at the center of research, policy, and practice, knowing we need to bring all of those together to achieve our collective vision of ensuring that everyone has access to life-changing teaching. Decades of research and hundreds of studies using the Classroom Assessment Scoring System, or CLAS, an observational measure of teacher-child interactions, makes the problem quite clear. The daily interactions that young children have in early childhood settings drive development and learning. These interactions literally change children's brains and biochemistry in ways that have consequences for years to come. Too few children experience positive interactions with teachers in early childhood settings, and too few children are given the supports that they need to reach their full potential. Now, it can be easy when we hear these findings to blame educators, but that is exactly the wrong message. Early childhood educators are underpaid, overworked, and unsupported in their own growth and development. And the system designed to train and support them is underfunded, unfocused, and simply not designed in ways to support meaningful improvements in children's daily experiences in early childhood settings. But I'm optimistic, and I'll tell you why. At Teachstone, we work to empower local organizations with the tools they need to focus on, measure, and improve teacher-child interactions. In January, I had the great privilege of seeing this work in action in Louisiana. Miss Sylvia is an infant teacher at Berry Cherry Tree, a child care center in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, owned by Paula Polito. Watching Mrs. Sylvia, I knew I was watching a natural. She's been teaching for 28 years, but I also learned how much class has helped her be more intentional. She's more thoughtful about making the most of each interaction she has with the infants in her care. So how did Miss Sylvia learn about class? Well, over the past 5 years, leaders at the Louisiana Department of Education have designed and implemented a quality rating and improvement system that is proving how well-crafted policy combined with evidence-based tools can transform children's lives across an entire state. Almost every state actually has a QRIS. But despite hundreds of millions of dollars invested in QRIS, the results have been underwhelming. Why? Well, most of these are voluntary systems. They simply aren't reaching all of our youngest children, and they're focusing on too many things and simply not driving improvement in the interactions that matter most. That's what makes Louisiana so unique. They use class as the sole metric in their system to really focus the work of teachers, coaches, and leaders. And it's not voluntary. All early childhood programs in Louisiana that have even one child who receives state or federal funding have every single classroom observed with class twice a year. That's important because it means educators like Ms. Sylvia get ongoing feedback about how to make meaningful changes to their teaching practice. Recent research by Daphne Basak and her team at UVA proves it's working. In these maps, you can see how early childhood programs across the state have made systematic year-upon-year improvements in the quality of teacher-child interactions. I'm optimistic because what I observed in Jefferson Parish is not an isolated case. Miss Sylvia's story is being repeated across the state and in many other states and communities across the country who are using class to drive meaningful improvements in children's daily experiences in classrooms. This work demonstrates the possibility for improving children's classroom experiences at a very large scale. One other quick note that's really important. QRIS are an effective lever for change only when they are aligned with higher ed teaching and training and certification. There's reason for optimism too. There are great examples across the country of people who are redesigning coursework and field experiences for teacher education in ways that train teachers on the types of teaching that matter most. So, what can you do? What part can you play in helping to ensure that all children experience life-changing teaching? Well, first, I'd encourage each of us who work in this space to make sure we continually ask ourselves, with this decision or action, what change is going to occur for children in classrooms? If you can't make that leap all the way to the classroom, how might you move your policy or practice a little bit closer? And second, I wanted you to take the scale challenge. Are you working in ways that can transform not just 1 or 2 or 50 classrooms, but 50,000? We need solutions that are designed to work at scale. Finally, class does not measure all of the teaching practices that support children's development. So let's embrace the research around the country on new and innovative observational measures of more specific teaching practices, such as measures in early literacy, social emotional learning, and supporting dual language learners. Might you partner with leaders in the field to help them validate and scale these measures to continue our efforts to help educators focus on the interactions that matter the most? Of all the reasons I'm optimistic about our collective vision for young children in this country, first and foremost, it's this. Organizations like Teachstone can be a critical first spark to innovation. We can ignite conversations and equip our partners with the resources and tools they need. But true change happens at the local level. And it's so inspiring to get to watch and learn from amazing leaders and educators across this country who share our vision. So I look forward to engaging with the leaders who we'll hear from today and with all of you as we lean into this work in the months and years to come.